What's up, folks? I'm Luis Ortiz. We just came back not too long ago from our trip to Austin, right? So we live down here in South Texas, about 5.5 hours south of Austin, right? So we said, you know what, let's go ahead and take out a trip out there, right? Let's go ahead and do that. As soon as we got to Austin, we unpacked all of our stuff into the hotel, and then we immediately went over to Leroy and Lewis. Now, by the time that we got there, everything was closed. I mean, it wasn't closed, but almost everything was already sold out. They were closing down. It was around 2 p.m. or so, give or take. So I said, you know what? That's fine. Let's go ahead and get some food from this food truck next door. I think it was called Pueblo Viejo, if I remember correctly. Their enchiladas were phenomenal. I think it's made out of ribeye steak with chile poblano and other stuff. We'll probably end up recreating it soon, but it was fantastic. The following day, we got to Leroy and Lewis. We got there a bit early, you know, just to make sure that we had time to go ahead and get some lunch from them, right? So they told us that the brisket is only there on the weekends, right? Which is fine, there's no problem. We ended up ordering the pulled whole hog, and we also ended up trying their L&L burger, right? Which basically is all the trimmings from the brisket, you know, and then they put into, you know, they grind it up, they give you a half-pound burger. That was fantastic. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best burgers I've ever had. It almost tastes like a fully smoked brisket, but in a burger texture. It's hard to describe, but it was amazing. The pulled whole hog, that was something else too. And it actually is motivating me to do a bit more pork, right? I usually just do brisket or any type of beef. So I'm gonna try and do more pork, because I gotta tell you guys, that was fantastic. It was pretty phenomenal. The area surrounding Leroy and Lewis was pretty interesting too. They have like this little waterfall type deal there. The environment is pretty nice. You know, they have music all over, you know, on speakers and everything. You can have your dogs out there too. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty nice. I really enjoyed that part too. You know, you don't feel like a stranger or anything like that. After we got done with that, we said, you know what, let's go ahead and check out Franklin, see if it's as busy as they say. By this time around, it was already about 12:30 in the afternoon, right? Somewhere around there. So I said, you know what, Franklin opens up at 11. They'll probably die down by now. So let's go ahead and check it out. And you can see right there the line that is still present, and it goes all the way around. And it was incredibly packed. So you could smell all the smoke coming out from their smokers and everything. It was pretty awesome. I liked it. I wouldn't want to stay in line for that long, but it was it's as busy, if not busier, than what most people tell you. We went on trails, stuff like that, and I'll go ahead and post up some pictures, some rolling shots here. I think it's called McKinney's Falls, but there's two falls in there, right? There's a big one and a small one. The small one is pretty awesome. The big one, we really didn't get a chance to go ahead and see the whole actual fall. I didn't see one. I mean, I'll go ahead and post up the pictures. On the small one, yeah, I saw it. You know, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty interesting, but the water didn't have a whole lot of movement, so you could see that it was a little bit clear, but it was also on the greenish side. I think it's because from all the leaves falling and everything, you know, I think that had something to do with that. I think in the summer it's going to be a lot clearer, more than what it was this time around. So if you're planning on going, try and go into the summertime. That way the water is nice and clean, and you don't have to deal with any of the leaves falling into the water and giving it that murky look to it, right? We only spent about 2 days there, give or take, right? About 2.5 days. So on our way back, we said, you know what? The biggest gas station in the entire world is just about 30 minutes south from us, right? And it's on our way to go home anyways. So let's go ahead and check it out. I gotta tell you guys, Buc-ees, at least, you know, we have Buc-ees all over Texas, so it's never been a big issue. I mean, it's never been something bigger than a Love's or something like that. But this Buc-ees is huge. 120 pumps, 86 restrooms, 54 ice chests, I believe. And they have their own smoker, I believe. I didn't see one. I didn't smell the wood smoke, but I'm tend to believe that they have one, or they sourced it out somewhere. But they have a platform in the middle of the entire gas station, right, and inside the store. and they're chopping up the brisket. They have these brisket burgers or brisket sandwiches. They were amazing, and I gotta tell you, man, if you bite into a Buc-ees sandwich, like a brisket sandwich, it's gonna be kind of like what you would expect out of a smoky brisket, right? It doesn't taste, it doesn't taste low in smoke or anything like that. It's pretty potent. Well, not extremely potent, but you can take a bite and be like, oh, okay, this is a smoky brisket. That's how you can tell. You walk around the store and it'll go from like a bakery shop, because they have like this little bakery section. It'll turn into this small little, not restaurant, but you know what I was mentioning in regards to where they have all the meats and everything. They cut it up for you. They have the pulled pork as well too, in sandwiches. And then you go to another section and it's kind of like bakery type stuff, right? You go to another section and now you have like a Walmart section where the clothes are, right? Women's, men's, children, stuff like that. You go to this other section and it's hunting stuff. You go to another section and it's smokers, grills. They aren't Santa Maria's, but they kind of look like a little bit. You have feeders. And it's all, I mean, it's pretty crazy. As I'm telling you 100%, it's huge. It's bigger than I ever expected, right? So once we got out of Buc-ees, then we finally drove home and we ended up chilling for a little bit, and I ended up making this video. But I just want to make a small short video regarding what our trip was. But if you do go over there, be sure to go ahead and check out these places, because you will enjoy it, right? It's an experience on itself. You got to go to Leroy and Lewis 100%, try out their meat. If you can go to the weekend to try out their brisket, even better. Got to go to at least see Franklin Barbecue. If you don't stand in line, at least go there, because you'll see the amount of people that are there. You can interact with some of them. We talked to a couple that was from Australia, so that was pretty interesting. They came over to Austin for the formula deal, and they were just talking to us about whatever, and they said while in town, well, let's go ahead and try out this Franklin. So they've been standing there for a bit, so it's definitely interesting. The Buc-ees is not far away either. I mean, if you're willing to drive maybe like half an hour or so, I don't even think half an hour, maybe 20 minutes or so, south of Austin, you're gonna be in Buc-ees, and I tell you, man, it's a whole experience on itself, right? So that's our trip for Austin, guys. Just want to make a short little video. If you guys are thinking about it and everything, we drove 5.5 hours or so to get there, and honestly, I'd probably do it again. It was pretty awesome. Be sure to go ahead and hit that like, subscribe. See you in the next one. Later, guys.